Meine Herren, es ist soweit. Unsere wochenlangen Vorbereitungen kommen zum Abschluss. Morgen wird mit einem Großangriff auf die russische Zentralfront unsere Sommeroffensive beginnen, die auf den Front...
As the Third Reich collapsed in early 1945, the Nazi leadership drew up a myriad of last-ditch formations to halt the Soviet onslaught. Amongst were the divisions of the 35th and final wave of deployment, drawn from the men of the Reich's paramilitary labor service, the Reichsarbeitsdienst. Welcome back to another episode of the War Room. The Reich Labor Service was the official, compulsory state labor service of the Third Reich, mandatory for all men aged between 18 and 25. Just prior to the outbreak of World War II, the labor service was incorporated into the army as construction troops. As the war progressed, the labor service became heavily militarized, with members performing rear echelon duties such as guarding key points and combating partisans. The Reich Labor Service had a fairly consistent look throughout the war. Uniforms were owned by units and returned upon service completion. Therefore, older-style uniforms were prevalent. These uniforms were stripped of ranks and insignia to denote their paramilitary status. An arm shield is featured on the left sleeve citing the trooper's unit and detachment. Labor service troops almost always wore the swastika armband, symbolizing the service's direct affiliation to the Nazi Party. The trooper wears a garrison-styled cap fitted with spade and grain insignia, typical to the rank and file of the Reich Labor Service. In rear areas, troopers were often issued older Gewehr 98 rifles, left over from the Great War. While these labor troops might look similar to the German soldier, they often lack grenades, bayonets, gas masks, and helmets standardized in their professional counterparts. Haversacks were often also of World War I stock, typical of rear echelon units. As the war situation deteriorated, labor service troops were often incorporated into ad hoc Kampfgruppe to plug the ever-widening gaps in the front line. In the last weeks of the war, all remaining labor troops were organized into 6 divisions and thrown hastily into combat. By this time, enough labor service uniforms have been lost due to units tied in combat or casualties. New uniforms with collar insignias became prevalent, and field-style caps were issued. While these late-war labor service troops were generously provided with grenades and Panzerfausts, their lack of meaningful heavy equipment rendered them powerless in front of Allied combined arms. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed my content. It costs nothing, and would mean a lot for my efforts. This is the War Room, signing off.